everyone! Congratulations first of all for all of you who got the ITA. Thanks to the recent draw in French category which was conducted on the 8th of July and the CRS score was just 420. Isn't it phenomenal? Now most of you who are still thinking whether to take the French route or not, by all means this is the proof that if you have like as score as low as 420, you can be the one who could get the ITA. This video is for all of you who have requested me to make a video on the difference exact between TEF and TCF. Now, most of you do message me, ma'am, I'm a beginner or I am an intermediate speaker, French learner. Which route to take? TEF Canada or TCF Canada? So I'm going to make a quick video on this. Stay up until the end because I'm also going to share my own personal opinion with what I exactly think that it's going to be beneficial for you. And of course, you can put in the comment, you can subscribe to the channel and also book the consultation call if you may. Now, let's get on to the video because I have to share my screen. So stay tuned. Okay, now let's get on to this and I'll make you understand the difference between both of it. And of course, by the end of this video, you should be ready to take and choose the right exam. So the first thing first, as we know, what are TEF and TCF? All of you, I hope know the TEF Canada and the TCF Canada are the exams which are accepted by IRCC. And both of the tests, they qualify for the permanent resident. Most of you did not know that TCF is equally capable, equally qualified to get the Canada PR. So here you go. Now, if you see the grid, the difference between both of it, first is TEF and TCF. Now, in both the exams, there's no negative marking. So you wouldn't have this problem of like getting the mark cut down in case you do not answer. So by all means, at least answer something, at least for the reading and listening. For both exams, the results are valid for 2 years, and reading and listening for both the exams, it's MCQ, which means you would be given multiple choice and you would have to click on A, B, C, D, either one of those. Now, referring to the first bit first, which is reading, if you see clearly on the screen, it is very similar. That 60 minutes you're given for both, and you have 40 questions in TEF to tackle to, whereas in TCF you have 39. Listening, you get 40 minutes in TEF, 40 questions to be answered, 35 minutes in TCF, and 39 questions to be answered, which means like close or more 1 minute. So writing, you get 60 minutes, 2 questions to be solved, 60 minutes for TCF, wherein you will be asked to attempt 3 questions. Speaking on the other hand, TEF takes 15 minutes, 2 tasks, while TCF gives you 12 minutes and they apparently ask you to complete 3 tasks. Now, let me also tell you here, 12 minutes in TCF is not something which is super 12 minutes by clock. You may be given 1 or 2 minutes here and there depending on the situation, circumstances and interlocutor obviously, which can go here and there. Now, TEF scoring criteria is as is. If you would like to score CLB 7 as per your requirement, then you're supposed to get 434 plus in comprehensive crit and comprehensive oral, which is listening and reading, writing 428 pen above, and expressive oral is 456. So mind you, even if you get even a 1 mark lower in any of the exams, you will get dropped down to NCLC 6, which is CLB 6. That means you need to have CLB 7 in each and every module. And same is the case with TCF. Now, in order to score CLB 7 in TCF, you should get over and above 10 in speaking, over and above 458 in listening, 453 in reading, and over and above 10 plus more to get the B2 plus in writing as well. Same goes with the TCF as well. The moment you get lesser, even 1 less point in any of the modules, you wouldn't be qualified for the CLB 7. You must get B2 plus, we say, or B2 we say, in the TCF as well in each module. Now, the TEF reading is like they have diverse range of text, which is A1 to C2 level. You get 60 questions. You would have 60 minutes. You get 40 questions. And the best tool to understand the structure well is the Prep My Future, because Prep My Future is something that will give you the real picture of the exam. Most of the students, they end up taking the exam even just after A1 and A2, which is highly not recommended, because they think that the grammar is something that they're going to ask, which is far from the truth, because TEF and TCF, both the exams are not about the grammar, guys. It is way ahead of that. So be very careful to choose which one to go for. Similarly, for the TCF rating, it's more or less similar, I would say. There's not much of a difference. Here you get 60 minutes and 39 questions, whereas here you have, in TEF, you have to have 40 questions. And here 39 questions. So just one question here and there. And in both the exams, the level goes up as in when you go ahead and attempt the question, especially in TCF. In TCF, it starts with A1, then it starts with A2, then it goes to up until C2 level. So by the time you would reach to the question number 35, 36, you might find it way too difficult as up to your level. Now, for the TEF listening, now TEF listening, for those of you who do not know, the TEF listening pattern has recently changed in December 2023, and I have made a separate video, and I've also made a video on how to tackle those listening. So go ahead and watch that video, please. Otherwise, for the TEF listening, this is how it looks like. You would have the question on the screen, you would have the options to answer, and you will be asked to respond to 40 questions. Whereas in TCF, this is how exactly looks like. So you will be shown something like this: response A, response B, say, they, and you will just listen to the audio one time. However, there is no question. You wouldn't see a question here. You will get the question at the end of the audio, which might get little tricky for the audience, for all of you rather, because you wouldn't know where to focus on. Now, this is where I feel TEF is slightly better. TEF get more point, because TEF, you would know what exactly the information to be concentrated on. And also, in both TEF as well as TCF, the audio is played only once. So this cannot be a selection criteria for you, that in TEF as well as in TCF, you have the audio played just once. Now in TCF, the only downfall is the question, it comes after the video, after the audio is ended, which can be a little tricky because you wouldn't really know where to focus on. Now, TEF writing is something which is very simpler, I feel. This is section A and you have section B. I have made a separate video on how to tackle the writing and tips and tricks of TEF as well. You can go ahead and watch this video. And they have two sections. You get 1 hour. The keyboard is just virtual because this is now called ETEF. There is no pen and paper test. That means you have to have a speed. Another important thing that I want to highlight here with the TEF writing is you will be given exact 25 minutes for the faith viewer, which is called section A, and exact by clock 35 minutes to the section B. So the moment you get to finish your section A, or the moment 25 minutes runs over, the screen will vanish and there is no way you would have a control to write more. So there is fixed time for each task, versus TCF has 3 tasks, so you will have to attempt 3 questions, and there is no fixed time for each of the tasks. That means if you end up spending 1 minute more in the task 1, that is fine, because your screen wouldn't disappear. Your screen only would disappear after 1 hour exact. Another call out here is that, guys, for the TCF, some of the centers worldwide are still accepting pen and paper exam, which means that whosoever is not so very comfortable with the E bit, which means the typing part, you can still go ahead and write the exam, like pen and paper, I mean. So this way you would have a little bit more leverage on TCF. So TCF scores point here. Now TCF, you have 3 tasks: task 1, task 2, task 3. Task 1 is something that is about 60 to 120 words, message, courriel. Task 2, article, courrier, note, and task 3 is compared to test and summarize. Those whosoever has taken TEF, say would be familiar to this particular part. Now, TEF speaking is rather two tasks. For the section A, you have to ask multiple questions to the interlocutor. It's only and only formal. And in the section B, you have to convince your friend for a certain activity, for a certain thing. This is rather informal and this is fixed. Whereas in TCF, you have to attempt 3 tasks. The first is a self-introduction. It's more or less about the intro. The second one is about you have to ask question, obtaining more information. And this is with preparation. You will be given few minutes to prepare yourself. Now, task 2 can be informal, can be formal. Now, task 3 is without any sort of a preparation and you will have to speak a monologue on the topic impromptu. So you will be shown a topic right in front of you and you have to speak a monologue on that topic, which is for about 4 minutes 30 seconds. Now, here again, a call out. So the teacher might interrupt you and ask you questions in between, may not interrupt you because apparently it is called monologue, and or maybe after the finish of the monologue they may ask, why do you agree, why you do not agree with this particular statement, or I would like to know more about the statement which you mentioned. So be ready. So whatever you speak here for 4 minutes 30 seconds, you should be ready and confident with your content. This comes without preparation. Now, if you compare the TEF speaking, now TEF speaking, one important note. TEF speaking is fixed, that you will be given in the section A completely formal. So you use vous voyez, versus in section B, it will be absolutely informal. That means tutoyer. Versus TCF, you do not know. In the section 2, it can be formal, it can be informal, depends. You may be asked to call your army, your friend to ask more information, or maybe you would be asked to call an agency to ask more information. So this is something that you would get where you get the food for thought to understand which exam sounds, more comfortable for you. Now, let's do a quick summarize here. For the TEF, this is completely online based exam. You get the results in 2 weeks. Fees is apparently $390 plus GST, and in India it is INR 25,000 approximately, and this is offered by CCIP Paris. Versus TCF, it can be online, it can be paper based. You get the results in about 2 to 4 weeks. The fees is more or less similar, 400 plus HST, and this is offered by the France Education Internationale. So if you understand that this is exactly the summary between both of the TEF and the TCF exam. Now here, because I did mention at the beginning of the video that I'm going to talk about my own personal opinion, and let me just put this all into words. Now, how does this work really, guys? When you start your journey with the French as a beginner, honestly, you're not in the boat to decide which exam to take. You can go for the TEF, you can go for the TCF. Depends on when you reach to the level of up until B1. So when you reach to the level of up until B1, you are actually would be in the situation to decide which route to take. Second important tip that I want to talk to you about here. Now, the TCF is something which could be more favorable for the ones who knows TEF well. Now, TCF is more diverse, like you would have different topics. It can be ecology, it can be marché du travail, it can be la vie d'étudiant, it can be many things, but more or less it is more concerned, more closer towards the TEF. Whereas TEF is fixed, like you would get something like this. And since I've been coaching on TEF and TCF apparently since long, I have seen the results as more or less similar. Some people say that TCF is apparently easier, while others says TEF is easier. For you, possibly listening is easier for TEF, but speaking and writing of TCF could be difficult. For the others, the speaking and writing for the TEF is easier, and the TCF listening, wherein you don't even know what exactly the question is, could be a little difficult. So it depends on you exactly that how do you feel, how do you want to evaluate. For me personally, I feel TCF is easier for the ones who knows the DELF well, who's very comfortable with talking about talking a monologue for about 4 minutes, who knows, who has the ideas, who can really speak on the subject for a very long time. Versus TEF is better for those who do not want to get indulged into the monologue, are happy doing dialogue, and knows well and can speak well, write well, and are comfortable with the typing bit. So this would be my take on the TEF and TCF overall. Now this is for this video, guys. Leave your comments, subscribe to the channel, please hit the like button if you really like the content of the video, and for the classes you can call us on the contact number as below. Book the consultation call with me if you feel that you need more personal approach and help. Thank you once again for watching, and thank you once again for all your commendable support. Merci beaucoup. Au revoir.